one of our favorite guests, retired Marine Intelligence Officer Hal Kempfer. Hal, it's great to see you. What in the world is going on with the Russian army?
Joe, they're slowly starting to fall apart, losing unit cohesion. There's been all sorts of anecdotal reports coming out, a lot of good Ukrainian intelligence collections, signals intelligence, that indicates that there's fragging, as they call it, of some of their officers. The troops are frustrated. They're not getting the food they're getting when they get it is often bad. The vehicles are breaking down. It could be up to half of the Russian troops have gotten some form of frostbite over the last month or so. With that, they're frustrated, they're angry, and those senior officers are getting out there trying to get them to move, and they're angry. And obviously, as you see with this, they're taking it out.
Yeah, and now there are reports, Hal, that Ukraine has killed another general. These Russian soldiers are deserting. They're turning on each other. They're foraging for food. What happens if this continues?
Well, eventually, and I saw some of this in Iraq in Kuwait during Desert Storm, the units literally just break down. They kind of disintegrate. They abandon their equipment. Sometimes they'll surrender en masse. That could happen. That general wasn't just a general. He was a lieutenant general. He was in charge of a combined arms army. That's the 6th general that's been killed. And then you add on to that the deputy commander of the Black Sea Fleet. It's unprecedented, the number of senior officers that have been killed. So overall, what you're seeing is the slow loss of unit cohesion across all of Ukraine for the Russian forces.
Yeah, meantime, the Ukrainians have put forth some counteroffensives now. They've encircled around 10,000 Russian troops, as we understand it. And they're also now, as I understand it, they've taken back Kherson. Is that what you're hearing as well?
There's been some back and forth. Apparently, there's some unconfirmed civilian reports saying there still are Russian troops in Kherson. It's just basically a defense official today, and that, they have good intelligence on this. They say, we can clearly say it is not completely in Russian control, which is another way of saying it's contested or largely under Ukrainian control. Now, as far as that 10,000 troops, that was the Russians sneaking down on the west side. And now with reinforcements, particularly Western aid, they are getting trapped between forces in Kyiv and these forces coming in from the west. Essentially, they've turned the tables on the Russians, and there's a possibility that they may be able to take out a large portion of the combined arms army just to the west of Kyiv.
Hal, I want to play a little bit about what the president mentioned yesterday, and that was that he never said deterrence would come with sanctions. Here's a clip of some of what we've heard leading up to this.
The president believes that sanctions are intended to deter.
Sanctions are not an end to themselves. They serve a higher purpose. And that purpose is to deter and prevent.
Sanctions can be a powerful tool. Yes, our intention is to have a deterrent effect.
So if sanctions weren't a deterrent, Hal, what do you think would have been?
I think sanctions are a deterrent. I'm not quite sure what the president was saying. He said it very emphatically that they weren't. Obviously, he's got a strategic communications problem within the White House and within the administration. But it does have strong deterrent value. Obviously, it puts consequences on the actions of the Russians, and that's what they've been used for as well. The Russians do something wrong, and we're sort of punishing them, but we're also trying to deter them from further action and to get them to roll back on what they've already done.
Well, it's been fascinating to watch. I mean, the vaunted Russian army, as we've all seen, and man, this has been anything but, I guess. Hal Kempfer, again, you've been one of my favorite guests, and we'll sign off as we always do. Semper Fi, my friend.
Semper Fi, Joe. Fair winds following seas. Hoorah!
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.